Good morning, student. Am I audible perfectly? Thank you, student, for your response. So we just wait for 1 or 2 minutes. Most of students join. Then we start our workshop lab sessions. So we start second practical, and the title that is regarding a basic Windows and Linux shell command. So now, as per the GTU syllabus, where we study two OS, and that two OS a basic command, okay, which helpful for the your regular activity. So now, first of all, we are aware about what is the meaning of the command. It means what is command? The command that we called a set of instruction which used to perform a specific task. Now we take example which type of the specific task. For example, if you create any folder, if you deleted some file, if you check what are the list of file it's available, then like if you have to check your IP address, your configurations detail, so that things where you can go for the command prompt, so where you can do that type of the specific task. So that's why we have to provide it some set of instruction. Like we take example mkdir then space run. So meaning of the mk, so that we called make a directory which a name that is the RAM. So that is the meaning of the command, okay, where we provided a set of instruction to perform some specific task. Next, like we go for the Windows, so that we are aware about in a Windows, we can do any type of the actions, like we have to create a file, copy, move, delete. You can make a website, watch a movie, listen songs, and many more tasks where you can do into the Windows. So we go for basic Windows versions. So like we go for Windows Vista, then after Windows XP, then after Windows 7, then Windows 8, 8.1, Windows, and currently that is the version of Windows 10. So now we have one difference that we are aware about DOS operating system or any install operating system. So now the meaning of a DOS operating system, like for example, if you purchase a new laptop, so where maybe you can see the configurations that there is a install Windows 7 or 8 or 10, and there is a DOS system. The DOS system, it means that give the laptop without install any operating system. So that we called a DOS operating system. And second, if you purchase the laptop with any pre-installed system like Windows or Linux or Ubuntu. So that is the difference between an install OS and DOS operating system. So that is the overview of Windows that we all aware about. We go for that first and a basic command. So now the first command that is the IP config. Now the full form of IP config that we called Internet Protocol Configurations. So now using of that command, we know our network configurations. Now which type of network configuration? Like I have connected through the internet, and then I have to know my IP address, my DNS address, and other network detail. So then we have to run the command that we call a IP configure. Now the first questions, where we have to run that command. So we have to run the command into the command prompt. So now in a left hand side corner where you can see the Windows starting symbol, and that we called a start button. You have to just click on start button. Then you have to type a CMD. Now the CMD, that is known as a command prompt. So first of all we have to open a command prompt. Now in a command prompt where we have to write down that a set of command or instructions that we have to do. So now the first command, that is a ipconfig. I have typed ipconfig and then you have to press the enter. Now you can see a list of detail. It will be a provide date. Now mainly we focus on IPv4 address. So you can see 192.168.17.206. So that is the IP address for my system. Then again that have a subnet mask. So then also you can see 255.255.25, sorry, 248. Then default gateway, so that is 192.168.16.3. Then like if I install any virtual machines, that also detail it will provided, as well as IPv4, sorry, IPv6 address. So that is the detail. It's provided through the IP config. Also, it's provided a domain. So like I have connected with mfga.com domain. So that is the all detail which provided by the IP config command. Now my screen is visible. Command prompt. Okay, thank you, student, for the response. Now next command, that is the ping. Now the ping command generally we use for the determine the connection between a two system. Like for example, my system that I have to connect it with another system through a LAN cable, or via we can say a hotspot, and then I have to check for the connections. So then I have to write down the ping, then space, write down that system network address, or we call IP address. Otherwise, if you check for the like online any live website, so then after the ping, and where you can put any website name like a google.com or any other website. So where it send a small packet informations, and if you receive all packet information, that means your connection it's found and it's properly working. But if you receive some lost packet, or maybe they have lost in your connections, or there will be maybe a disruptions in whatever system that you have to connect it with. So generally ping, then after space, and then we write down the IP address or either any website name. So let's we go for that website a URL. Like ping space, let's we go for same example google.com. So now you see the output. So it's a send a 4 packet, and the 4 packet it's a receive. That means it's a connection which is a properly work. And also you can see the lost packet 0. That means a 0% lost. So that it's check your connections between your system to another system. If you connected via any transmission control protocol or a internet protocol. So that is the use of the ping command. There is a one query, sir, screen not visible. Just give me the other students' response. Presentation slide and the command prompt it's visible. Okay, thank you, student, for your response. Okay, final, no problem. So now next command that is a traceset. So again, it's similar to we called a ping command where it send a small packet informations which give that amount of the hop received to pay, sorry, amount of the hop required to packet to get a destination. So it check for alternate address and it will give that result with a specific time, and that is the time where it's represent into the millisecond, like a 2 millisecond time, 10 millisecond time, 20 millisecond time to reach out that specific URL. So let's we go for that result. It's take 30 second to 1 minute time to complete the command. So now you can see it's completed. So where you can see it's a alternate address of the Google's, and it's a check for that reaching a time like a 2 millisecond, 15 millisecond, 18, 15, 30. So that is the command regarding the trace it. Now the next command that is dir and cd. So this is the interesting and important command. So now the dir that is display a list of the file and subdirectory in a actual where directory you have to move, currently located. Now, for example, I have to know in a C drive in a user folder how many files and folder it's available. So then in that directory, I have to run the command dir, which give the result a list of all folder with file, as well as it also give the result of hidden file. Now next command that is cd, so that is represent as change the current directory. So now, for example, I have located in a C drive in user on like in my user profile max. And like suppose to I have to move into the download folder, link folder, or any XYZ folder. So then I have to write down a CD space that folder name. That means you have a redirect to that folder. And suppose if you backtrack for that folder and move to that parent directory, then you have to write down a cd space dot dot. So these are the two command dir and a cd. So let's we go for that demo. So now you currently see I'm located a C drive in a C drive user folder, and user folder my name that is a username that is a max. So now in this I have to know which are the files and folder it's available currently. So then I have to type a dir, then put a enter. Now you can see it's a give the list of directory means a folder and directly represent that is the file. So here also it's give the summary. You can say 20 directory, it means the 20 folder available and one file available. So here you can see the dot dot dot. These are the default hidden folder, and then after you can see the actual file name. It's a started 3D object, contact, desktop, document, download, favorite, link, music, and that is a one file that you can see a one EC1 doc. So that is the summary which give by the dir command. It's a display list of file as well as the subdirectory or that we called a folder. Now the for example, I have moved into the like a link folder or like a document folder. So then I have to write down a cd space document. Now you can see my cursor, it's move into the document directory. Now again in a document, I have to know a list of the which a file and folder it's available. So then again I have to run a dir. Now you can see in a folder the cryptography tool, custom office template, EEG download, format factory, LC7, Max, my data file, some presentations, V, Zoom. So that is the list of directory which are available in a document folder. Now question is, okay, I have to move out from my document folder. Then you have to type a cd space dot dot. Now you can see I have currently located as a Max directory. Same way again I have to move out from Max. So again cd space dot. So directly you go for users, and then again I have to see a list of users. You can see only two folder it's available, Max and public. Now for example I have go for the Max and cd Max. So that is the method where you can use a dir command as well as the cd. Next, for example, you have to delete any specific file. So then you have to write down a del space and double inverted comma that specific file name with that extension. And like you have to like download a more file. Then again you have to put a space and write down another file name, then put a space and write down another file name. So you deleted single file also as well as multiple file also. So let's we go for that example. So like in a directory, now you can see there is a one file available, one is c1 docs. Now that file I have to delete and run del in double inverted comma file name. To write del in inverted comma file name. Like maybe another file it's available like abc.txt. Then also it's a write down another one more. So you have to continue write down that file, you have to delete it, or you can also delete it a single file. Now you have to just put a enter. So it will delete that file. So that is the command for delete file. Now the command that is mkdir and rmdir. Now the meaning of mk, so that we called a make a directory. Like for example, if you create any folder, so then you have to run the command mkdir, make a directory. And now for example, if you deleted any folder, then you have to run the command rmdir. The meaning of rm, it will be remove a directory. So these are the two command where you have to use it, mkdir or rmdir. Like I have to create one folder, a workshop name, mkdir space workshops. So now it's created, but how I know it's where or it's listed. So then you have to run the command dir, then put a enter. Now you can see the result here. A workshop folder it's created, and also you can see that date as well as the time also. The 10th December and 10 o'clock and 49 made it just created folder. Now, for example, if you move on that folder, so then you write down a cd and workshops. So now you can see you are quite out on workshop folder. Now in this you have to check files. So now you can see I have run a dir and there is a no any file available. Those are the default hidden size folder that only it's a created. So it's a blank folder because both are the dot file and that is the meaning of the hidden which is the system default created. Now if you backtrack again cd space dot dot. Now the next that is the command rmdir. It means remove directory. Then I have to type rmdir then that directory name. So that is a workshop. Now it's a deleted, but I have to check whether it's deleted or not. So then again we run the command dir list of the directory. Now you can see after the video folder there is no any workshop folder it's available. So it means it's a deleted and where you can see in a previous result it's a located after the workshop. So after the video folder. So these are the two basic command make a directory as well as the remove a directory. Now next command that is msinfo32. msinfo32 which give the summary regarding the system. Now which type of the summary? So it's give the all hardware resource detail, all software environment detail as well as the basic component. So it's give a three type of the summary: hardware, component as well as the software. Let's we go for that example. MS Info 30. Now you can see one screen it will be open and that is the name is a system info. And here you can see the three component hardware resource component as well as the software environment where the system driver environment variable network connections and that all things represent in a component like port network modem input display that all represents and in hardware that is like a memory input output device dma and it's also give the summary like you can see which os currently I've installed windows 10 pro which versions is there any os I've installed dual boot or not I'm not installed which manufacturers my system name which a system I have Lenovo system that model which type 32-bit 64-bit then after which a processor the processor i5 7 generations. So that is the basic detail which represent by the system info regarding the summary of system. Now the next command that is a system info. It's more like similar to MS Info 32, but it's additional give like informations of security that informations that are product key informations some hardware detail that are common ram detail also it's represent disk space that network card that we call nic network interface. So that's also a detail if you get though you have to run the command a system info and it's only give you our system details. So now here you can see the result it started the host name os so this is the common that version manufacturers So here you can get a unique result, the product ID. So that is the product ID from my Windows 10 Pro license key that we call a generally. Then also give the detail originally installed date. It means when I install my OS, or we can say when last time I have to format and install the any OS in my system. So that date it's a represent. It means last time when I have to format and install the any specific OS. There also a boot time when started, manufacturing model. These are the commons. Then also represent physical memory to 8 GB and how much it's available. Then also give virtual memory. Virtual memory, it means if you install any virtual machines and how many GB that you have to allocate it. I have allocated like 19 GB, and you can see out of 11 it's available 7 GB RAM that is currently used. That is a network interface card for the internet connections and Ethernet related. IP address detail, my that is my IPv4 address. So that all detail which provided by the system info command. So here we completed a basic Windows command. If you go for the in detail, so then we have a 1,000+ command, but it's take entire semester to teach. So that's why we just go for that basic command only. So let's we move to into the Linux platform. So Linux that is a open source platform, and in this Linux it's open source compared to if you go for the Windows. If you install the Windows OS, then it's take a price. But if you go for the Linux, so it's a freeware and open source. Like we discuss about a Linux version, so where we have Ubuntu, that might be most of heard the name. In Ubuntu have a different version, Ubuntu 12, 14, 16, 18. Then after we go for like a Kali Linux, Parrot OS, Metafoils, Backtracks, and many more OS which are supported through the Linux platform. So let's we go for that a basic example. First of all, we start the virtual machines parallelly. I already installed a Kali Linux system in my virtual machine. There is a questions, which OS is the best, Ubuntu or Windows? It's a depend on your work, which type of the work that you have to want. Like if you go for some hacking related activities, cybersecurity related things, so that all things it's not possible in a Windows platform. So that's why you go for a Linux platform. And if you go for some basic software like AutoCAD, Microsoft.NET tool, or Python, Java, C++, so then I would suggest you go for a Windows platform. The both OS have a certain advantage based on the your usage. I hope finally you get the answer. So let's we go for the Linux command. The Linux command that we run into the terminal. because in a Windows that we have application command prompt. Now, if you go for the Linux platform, where we have one applications terminal, in a terminal where we have to write down that set of the command. So like we go for ID, so it's display the user who execute the program. It means which user you have to log in that system. It's give the detail. Like as a root user, you have to log in as a student, as an administrative, or as a guest user. So that if you know the username, then you have to run the command ID. Now next command, that is a pwd. So generally a pwd, it's give the path about where actually you are the redirect. It's give the print of working directory path. Like for example, currently I am on home, and then after like a root user or XYZ folder. So it's give that entire root path. So that is a give the result by the pwd command, okay, which currently you were a location that located. So that path you have to know. Then you have to type the command pwd. Now the next command that we have ls. So now the meaning of ls, so that we called a list of the directory. Now for example, you have to know, okay, how many folder and file it's available on some specific directory. So then you have to type the command that we called a ls, a list of the directory. Next, that we have command a cd. So now the meaning of a cd, that we called a change the directory. Like a same command for a Windows. Like I have to move a home folder into the download folder. So then I have to write a cd space download. It means that I have to redirect into the download folders. So let's we go for that examples. So now you can see that is my Kali Linux home page. So we have to just click on the applications, where you can get a list of the default software. And if you go for the favorite, there we have applications terminal. We have to just open the terminal. Now in terminal, here we have to write down that a basic command. So now the first command, that is a id. So now you can see user ID, that is a root, group ID, that is a root, and group also root. It means right now I'm logging as a root user. So that is the first and basic command ID, which give which user you have to log in. Next command that we have a ls. So it's give a list of the files or list of the directory that we called. So here you can see the cyber.txt, document, hacking.exe, picture, template, desktop, download, music, public, video. So here you think of one, you observe a blue color that is represent as a folder, and the white color that is represent a file name. Again, I repeat, those are the blue color represent, that is the meaning of folder, and the white color that is represent as a file. Now suppose you have to move into the document folder. So then you have to write down a cd and that directory name. So now you can see currently I am located as a document folder. Now for example, in this you have to know a list of file, then you have to run ls command where you can get only just one file. It's available, hello.txt. Then after, like, I have to check for the pwd, my print working directory. So now you can see it's where I am currently root, and then after the document, it's give the path root document, and meaning of the pwd that we call a print working directory. Now for example, I have to move a backtrack, so then I have to run cd space dot dot. So you can see I left out from document folder and move into the root directory. Now suppose here I have to know, so again I run a pwd. So you can see it's a give that a root directory also. So these are the four basic command. Now next that we have a command make a directory and remove a directory. So these are the similar to a Windows. Okay, like for example, you have to create any folder or directory. Then you have to type a mkdir workshops, and like if you remove any directory, then you have to run the command rmdir. So let's we go for that example. mkdir, and like I have to create a folder workshop name. So now you can see it's created, but it's where located and how exactly I know. So then I have to run the command dls. So now you can see any difference on previous ls command and now the ls command. So let's we know any message. So now you can observe the previously there is a not any workshop folder, and here you can see the workshop folder, it will be a created, and that is the represent as a blue color. So that difference is visible. You can see the previously ls command, so there is a not any workshop folder, and right now it's a created, it's a visible, the workshop folder that is created. Good. So now same things, like I have to remove that folder, or like I have to move into that folder, and I have to write down a cd space a workshop. You can see I have moved into the workshop folder, then go back to cd dot dot. Now I have to delete that folder, then rmdir space a workshop and enter. So it's a deleted, but how I know it's a deleted or not? Then again you have to run the command ls. So here you can see the result. The previously workshop folder created, and then after then after the result where you can see the workshop folder, it will be deleted. So let's we move to next command. The next command that is regarding a clear screen, so which clear your terminal screen and it point into the top of. So for example, if you run a too many command and then you move into the top of the terminal, then you have to run the command a clear screen. Then next command that we have a if config. Now the meaning of if config, which give IP address detail, subnet address detail, MAC address detail, and which is similar to in a Windows IP config. It means, okay, in a Linux platform, I have to know my IP address, so where I have get. So you have to run the command that is a if config. Let's we go for first a clear command. So I have to type a clear. Now I have pressed the enter. So now you can see my cursor, it's a redirect on the top most. So that is the command clear. Now next command that is a if config. So now you can see get a result. Here now you focus on a second line inet address. So that is 192.168.115.134. So that is my IP address for the Linux system. And then after you can see the inet 6, so that is my IPv6 address. Also you get subnet address, a broadcast address. So that a network related detail where you get from the IP config. So now these are the basic command for the Linux platform, and if you go for the in detail, so we have many more command also. So today we completed our second practical as per the workshop syllabus, okay, where we go for a Windows 10 basic command, and then we also go for the Linux platform, where also learn that a basic 10 command. So now any query in second practicals? Okay, good student. So let's we just go for the workshop syllabus. So that is your workshop syllabus. And if you go for the list of practicals, so that two practical from computer department, and today we also completed a second practical, okay, where students have to learn a basic command Linux Ubuntu and which have to develop a small script code. So let's we go for lab manual discussions. So that is your lab manual, which I already uploaded 2 weeks ago in your e-content. Anyone can verify that e-content lab manuals which I have uploaded. Good, Hamangi. So now if you go for the lab manual which have a number of 18 page, 1 8, to which already I have provided a practical 1 and practical 2 with that all command with that detail with a screen sorter. You have to not add any content in your lab manual. Now you have to just focus on a second page. Here in a second page, you have to add just few detail. The first detail, that is your full name. Second detail, your class and dash your lab batch like 1 EC2 dash C batch. Then after your roll number, and then after your subject name, his or her number in subject name. So that 4 detail you have to fill it. Then you have to make a PDF file, and that PDF file you have to upload into the Google Classroom. You have to not add any date, staff in charge name, as well as the head of department name. Again, I repeat, you have to just add 4 detail, your name, class 1 is a 2 dash C batch, enrollment number. It means instead of enrollment number, you have to write down your roll number, full, and here of subject name, that is the workshop. So that full detail you have to fill, and then you have to make a PDF file, and that PDF file you have to upload into the Google Classroom. And if you go for the lab manual, so which have an index where to practical I have already listed. This is a practical one, where you can see a basic all a list of command with that detail and screenshot I have added. Then also Ubuntu that basic command, and then after the HTML. So that all detail I already provided. You have to just go for second practical only, second page only. So now any query in a lab manual, for the making of lab manual PDF file, and where you get the lab manual, you have to just go for your e-content. Then after workshop subject, where you go for the lab manual menu, where you can download that doc file, editable document file, which I have to upload it. Okay, in a term and yes, good questions, Hermes Sony. In a term and you write down 2020/2021. Again, I repeat, in a term and you have to write down first 2020, then after slash 2021. And no need to print that lab manual. You have to just edit on soft copy, make a PDF file, and upload into the Google Classroom. Name of the HOD that you have to not fill. Again, I repeat, date, subject in charge, and head of department તમારે add કરવાનું નથી. Now tell me how much time that you have to need making of the lab manual. It's I think 10 to 20 minutes time. Now I already uploaded a lab manual uploadations in a Google Classroom, and I have to set a deadline which is a 31st December. It means you get a 2 week time. So within a 2 week, it means before 31st December, you have to upload in Google Classroom. Now give me the name. Those are the right now join. Is there any student which is right now or currently till of the date not join a Google Classroom? અત્યારે જે લોકો પાર્ટિસિપેટ્સ છે એમાં કોઈ એવું સ્ટુડન્ટ છે કે હજી Google Classroom જોઈન ન કર્યું હોય, or if you face any difficulty or any error? So it means that all are the 15 participants already joined the Google Classroom. I'm discuss about a workshop subject Google Classroom. There is a question from Sarad. Classroom માંથી lab manual download nahi થાય? No. In a Google Classroom, you have to upload a lab manual. Okay, in a term end, you have to write down 2020/2021. Again, I repeat, in a term ending, you have to write down 2020/2021. Now, any other student have any query regarding the lab manual? How we make a lab manual and how we upload that? There is a questions. Sir, lab manual download કઈ રીતે કરવાનું? Lab manual which is available in your e-content. You have to go for MEFGA website, Marvel University website, where you can go for your login, user ID, your roll number and password. Then you get one menu, e-content, and in a e-content, you go for the workshop subject where you can download it. There is a question. Now, how to upload? You have to upload in Google Classroom, Pankaj. PDF file name, you can write down your full name, your element number, any. There is no any method for a file name. You can write down your name file or your roll number file also. In a Google Classroom, I already sent the invitations regarding the updation of that PDF file. And if you face the any query, so you can personally send me the message. So now one more announcement. Now the today we completed two practical from computer side in a workshop subject. So that is the official last lab from my side. Now the next week onwards, where you have to redirect into the electrical department. So that electrical department faculty, it teach that workshop practical session. And then after the 1 month where you redirect into the mechanical part, so last 2 months where you teach mechanical practicals. Pankaj, just go for the workshop, WhatsApp group. Before 3 to 2 day, I have forwarded it. I hope you can enjoy the two practical session from computer sites. Hmm. Okay, Pankaj, I also share in WhatsApp group. Now, any other students? Any query? So thank you, student. You can left the meeting. I already take us attendance as a screenshots. No need to write your enrollment number in chat box. I already take a screenshot list of the participant student and you get the attendance.